No, we can do it after. I was just gonna, yeah.
No. We can cut it out.
Okay.
Okay, guys, welcome back to Between the Covers.
Episode 2.
Episode 2.
I'm Presley.
And I am Gracie.
And today we are going to be talking about popular and unpopular opinions about books.
Yes. And we have our little snackies
Lunch.
here, so sorry, guys, but we're hungry, so
yeah.
we're going to eat it.
We got our list of questions here. We'll see how far we get. This might have to be a 2-part.
Yeah.
So first one, real people on covers, yes or no?
Real people on covers.
Yeah.
No. Well,
Yeah.
there's exceptions, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like,
That can be.
do you have...
I don't know if I don't know. This one I just saw you had, and that one was
Yeah.
really pretty. I did like that one.
So, for me, any Kira Cass book is an exception because her covers are really pretty. Like, they do a lot. I did not stack these well. Oh my gosh. Okay. She does a lot of real people on covers that looks good. And I like that a lot of the time she tries to keep the faces out of it because then
Yes.
you can kind of picture the characters how you want. But if you make it pretty and have pretty dresses, I'm going to like the cover.
Yeah.
Except, this is the one that I don't like of Kira Cass's. I don't know. Her dress just looks weird. I just don't like the cover. And I don't love the colors. It kind of looks like a baby shower, just a tiny bit.
There you go.
And
That's
like,
funny.
I don't know. I don't like the spine.
It's like it blends in, like all the purple.
Yeah, I just don't like this cover.
Yeah.
And I hate her dress. So, this is one of the Kira Cass covers that I don't like. But most of them I do. And then, I don't know.
I don't really care for people on covers either. I don't like cartoon ones, like Icebreaker. Like, have you heard that book?
Yeah.
I don't like that. Or like this one that you have.
Yeah.
Like, it's alright. It's not my favorite.
Yeah, I just think it's like, it looks too cutesy. Like
one I exceptionally hate. Have you seen like the old cover for Shatter Me?
oh,
like that?
Yes, I
Yeah.
do hate that one.
It's not good. It's not my favorite.
Yeah, that's ugly. I
And
do
then,
agree.
funny story actually about people's faces on covers. Her face isn't really in the cover. It's like half her body. But have you seen the old cover for A Court of Thorns and Roses?
Yes.
Okay, I refused to read that book for a long time because I didn't like the cover.
Yeah, so, people judge books by their covers.
cover, yeah.
It has to be pretty and aesthetically,
Yeah.
good looking. Like, because, Throne of Glass,
Mhm.
I had the original cover too. And that one was so ugly. And I just got them from the library because I was like, I'm not buying these
Right.
books. Like, they're hideous. But then when Sarah J. Maas came out with her, new covers, I bought the whole series at Target. So I was like, now I can get them.
See, and I love A Court of Thorns and Roses.
Me
It's
too.
such a good series,
Yeah.
but I didn't want to read it because I hated the cover.
I know.
Yeah, I am bad.
Mm-hmm.
And then with that one we didn't like.
Oh,
either.
yeah. This one is also... Oh, my gosh, if I can grab it. This is also one that I hate the cover with a real person on it. It's just
Empowered
so...
is the
Yeah.
book.
So ugly. Here's the series on the back. In our last episode, I talked about how this is my favorite series, but the cover is hideous. So ugly. So ugly.
So I think that is a no for us
Yeah,
on the
no.
covers.
Mm-mm.
Do you need help with?
I'll just put them right here.
All right. Second question. Does listening to audiobooks actually count as reading?
No.
No, I
Does
don't
not.
think so either. I think audiobooks are great.
Mhm.
And it's kind of like, I feel like it's more like a podcast.
That's
than
what
it
I was
is-
just going to
yeah,
say. It's
more
a
like a
podcast.
podcast than it is
Exactly.
actually reading a book.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, you're not doing any work.
No.
You're literally...
It's like listening to a movie or
It
something.
is.
Yeah.
It is. Like, you can get tasks done while you're listening
Right.
to an audiobook. And when
And-
you're reading, you have to physically sit down.
Right. And nothing against audiobooks, because I think
Yeah.
they're great. I do like audiobooks.
See, I hate audiobooks.
Really?
I have something against audiobooks.
I don't
But
listen
Presley
to
doesn't.
them a lot, but I do listen to them once in a while if I can't find anything else to listen to. Like, I'll just put on an audiobook.
Yeah. See, I tried to get into them last year when I was
Yeah.
a TA for one of my teachers, and I just couldn't do it.
Really?
No, like, I hated the voices. Like, I just didn't
Yeah.
like the narrator. I didn't like how slow they read.
Yeah. I do agree.
I have
I
a hard
actually
problem.
do when I do listen to audiobooks, I speed up their
Yeah.
voices. I do that. And then, but my work is like a half hour away, so I drive kind of far. And usually when I go to work, I listen to a podcast or an audiobook. Like that's what I do.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't like choose an audiobook over a book,
Yeah.
but like when I'm driving,
Yeah.
like why not, you know?
Yeah. See, I'm into podcasts a
Yeah.
lot. Like, love Buried Bones, love what is it?
Mr. Ballin.
Mr.
The
Ballin.
Mr. Ballin podcast is so
So
good.
good.
True crime and all that.
Yep.
I could listen to that one for days.
Same.
Okay. Can books be better than the movies? Or can movies be better than books? I said that wrong. Can movies be better than the books? Because all those bookworms say the books are always better than the movies. So is there some exceptions?
I'm trying to think of movies that I've seen that are better than them.
I don't know if there's like movies altogether that are better than the books. I'm sure there are that I just can't think of. But I do think that there's certain like scenes in movies that can be better than books.
Yeah, that's true. I agree. I'm trying to think. I think that the Bridgerton series, I think that TV show is better than the books, actually. Because I read the first one, and I started reading the second, but in the show, they just have such good chemistry. And in the books, you just can't get the chemistry that they have in real life.
Right.
So I guess the Bridgerton series TV show, that is probably better than the books.
No, I would almost say that Twilight movies are better than the books.
Yeah. Okay.
And they're still bad. The movies are still bad. But I would almost say the movies are better than the books.
Okay, so I have been rewatching these actually like this past week.
That is so funny.
So, and I reread the Twilight series every March because
you really?
Yes, because that is when we have our foggy rainy season is in March.
Uh-huh.
So, that's when I reread them. And like I was thinking the other day, like literally Twilight is just a rom-com. But then they were like, he's just gonna be a vampire.
Yeah, just
like
randomly throw
they were
in
like,
that.
this is kind of a boring book. So what if we make Edward a vampire
And Jacob
to
a
spice
werewolf.
it up?
Yeah.
But no, like, offense against Stephanie Myers.
No.
Because, like, she's a good writer, but
Just kidding.
Twilight's definitely weird. And it just got weirder
Yeah.
as the series went. And the fact that Jacob imprinted on Renesmee.
her daughter?
Yeah. Yeah. So Twilight is definitely,
Yeah, and I'm not saying the movies are great either. Like,
Yeah.
we love to watch them because
It's
they're
true.
hilarious.
Yeah.
They're so bad that they're hilarious.
It's true.
But I almost would bet that, I would almost argue that the movies are better than
Yeah.
the books.
I agree. I honestly do agree. Especially with the last ones. They're
Yeah.
better than the books.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, anyways, kind of a basic one. Physical books or, like digital?
Physical.
Yeah, same.
I love physical books.
Me too. I don't really care for reading on my phone or anything. During COVID, I kind of had to get into that because all the libraries were shut down. And so I did get into it a little bit, but after COVID, I picked up books again.
That's basically how I was too.
Yeah.
I read a lot of ebooks during COVID. But yeah, now I love physical books. Like, a couple like months ago, what is it called? I checked out the Crescent City series on my like iPad, and I couldn't get into it because it's so hard for me to read on like a device for some reason. And then I bought the books and now I'm going through them really fast. So it's like my brain can't comprehend it. Like, it doesn't comprehend that it's real. Like, that it's an actual book. I don't know.
And see, even like with the books like I've written, it's easier to have them printed out and like proofread them as an actual book than it is for me to sit on the computer screen and read it, you know?
Yes, I do agree.
So, yeah. It did, like, with COVID and stuff, it did take me a long time to get into ebooks, but we kind of, like, had to because that was our only choice back then.
Yep.
Back in the olden days.
Back in the olden days. I can't believe that's 4 years ago.
I know, that is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen, like, all the stuff? They're, like, it's, like, repeating itself.
Yeah.
It's scary.
That's because it's an election year.
Yeah.
That's why.
Well, because it's, like, it was Trump versus Biden, and then it was the Chiefs versus the 49ers, and then we lost a legend, which was Kobe, and then now we lost another legend, Toby Keith, and just, it's a leap year, and just, like, stuff like that is repeating.
I didn't even realize that was horrible.
Yeah. And so everyone's like, are we going to have COVID again? And I'm like,
no,
we better not.
Don't say that. I will cry.
Yeah.
I will sob.
Okay. Next question. Is trying to read as many books as possible just to hit a number missing the point of reading?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is. Yeah. That literally takes the joy away from reading.
Right. And, okay, so sometimes when there's a book I really like, I actually try to spread it out as much as I can.
Same.
Because
you have
I don't
to savor it.
Right. I don't want to, like, just read it super fast because I love it and I don't want to get it over with quickly,
Same.
you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. I agree. I hate feeling, and, like, that feels like a school assignment.
Right.
Like, why do I want to make something I love to do feel like homework?
Feel like homework, and you don't want to rush it either.
No.
Like, you're supposed to just enjoy the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of the 20 and the 2024 stuff, in real world, I can't speak. In real world stuff in books, like politics and COVID, like, do you like that or not?
No.
No, I don't either. Like, it's different if it's, like, a biography or, like, you know, meant for that stuff. But if you're, like, writing a fantasy book and randomly bring up something like COVID, I think that's super weird and just no.
Or, like, even if you're, like, reading a rom-com and then you bring up, like, real world stuff. I'm like, I don't freaking care. Like, I'm reading this so I can giggle and laugh at the romance.
And get away from reality.
Exactly.
We don't want reality brought to our fake reality.
Exactly. That's why we read books, so we can escape reality.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait. We're just cruising through this. Okay. Would you rather meet your favorite author or your favorite character?
I'd rather meet my favorite character.
Same. Same.
Like, authors are great, and they're the ones who create the stories and the characters, but if for some reason Aaron Warner or Rhysand or, you know, Jax from, what was it called, Once Upon a Broken Heart came to life and I could meet them, then I would rather meet them.
Because you can meet authors whenever, but you can't meet fictional characters whenever.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I do agree with that one. I wish there was a way you could actually meet, like, fictional characters.
Me too.
Like, I would love that so much. Okay. What is your least favorite book you were last required to read?
Well, I had to read. I just read one in English. What was it? I can't remember. Oh, it was Lord of the Flies. I didn't hate reading Lord of the Flies, but the one book that I hated reading was Life of Pi.
Yeah, that one wasn't great either.
Hated that book.
Or last year, did you have to read The Great Gatsby?
Yeah.
I didn't care for that one either.
I didn't. Like, I didn't mind. Like, I didn't hate it, didn't like it. Like, it was kind of in the middle.
I just hate when we're forced to read books for school because then I don't like them. Mockingbird. What was it? To Kill a Mockingbird?
Oh, yeah.
That one actually wasn't that bad. I didn't mind that one.
I haven't read that one.
You didn't have to read that one? We read that one in our sophomore year.
Oh.
And it wasn't like it was a very slow beginning, but towards the end I actually liked it.
My class picked their own books.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
well, not like
nice.
our own.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't pick.
Right, but like you gotta choose one to get. What did you guys end up doing?
So my group ended up doing The Princess Bride.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
So it was pretty good.
Yeah.
But Buttercup is kind of annoying. Like, in the movie, she's annoying, but in the book, she's worse.
Oh,
so
no.
they kind of did her favor in the
geez.
movie.
That's so funny. This is really random, but like, okay, so here's another question that's not on the list. What's your favorite book you were required to read?
I'm trying to think. He's probably Princess of the
Yeah.
Frame. Yeah.
Did you ever have to read Spirit Bear?
Mm-mm.
No, we read that one in 6th grade, so it's like a child's book, you know, it's younger, but it was a good book. And like that was actually, I think, like we talked about in the last episode how 7th grade was kind of when we started like reading.
Mhm.
I think 6th grade was like the first time like okay, like I started opening up to the
Okay.
idea because that was a good book.
Well, let me think back to junior high. I liked reading Taming of the Shrew.
I don't think I've ever read that one.
That's a Shakespeare play.
Is it?
Have you watched 10 Things I Hate About You?
Yes.
That is what it's based off
Really?
of. Yeah. So, what other one? I can't even remember.
You know what? This is back to what we hated. I hated reading Romeo and Juliet.
We didn't read Romeo
Really?
and Juliet. We read Taming of the Shrew.
That's when you guys did that.
Yeah, because my English teacher hates Romeo
I was
and Juliet.
pissed. It was so awful. Like, it was... Yeah, I did not like that. Like, we had to read it, and I was so frustrated all the time.
Yeah. Did you have to read Crispin? You didn't have to read Crispin?
No.
That is lucky for you.
Really?
I freaking hated that book.
Oh,
If you guys
no.
have ever read Crispin, you need to comment and say
What's
if
that
you
one
liked it or
about?
not. It's about, I can't even remember, but I remember my hatred
You
for
hated it?
Yes. So, it's like, takes back, like, the setting is, like, Middle Ages,
Mhm.
like, medieval, and, like, with the plague and all this stuff, and there's this boy named Crispin, and he's, like, I don't know, like, 14, 15? I can't
Yeah.
remember. But he's, like, an orphan or something.
Oh, really?
And he meets this guy named Bear. Like, I can't even remember what it
Yeah.
was about, but I'm pretty sure, like, Crispin, I don't mean to spoil it for you guys, but I'm pretty sure he's, like, the lost prince or something. I can't
really?
remember. But it was, like, the worst thing
Oh, that
ever.
is so funny.
I hated it.
Oh, jeez.
And, oh, actually, sorry, going back to movies that are better than the book,
Yeah.
did you ever read, oh crap, it was, like, made into a Disney movie. It was, like, that one about those, A Wrinkle in Time.
I hated that book.
Hated that book. But the movie, I thought, was better than
I
the book.
refused to watch the movie
Re-
because I hated the
My
book.
class watched the movie in class.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I thought that the movie was better because I hated
Yeah, I couldn't
that
stand
book.
I couldn't stand that book either.
Mhm.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah, that one was awful.
But
But actually, there was this other one that was kind of fine to read. Like, I didn't like it or hate it, but I did not like the teacher. I won't say
Yeah.
names, but it was 8th grade, and her room always, like, I had her, class period right after lunch, and she would heat up her lunch
oh my god.
in the microwave. And so,
Wait, I want to know who this is now.
I'll tell you
Okay,
after.
okay.
I'll tell you after, but, like, she would heat up, like, fish in the microwave. So her
Oh,
room would smell like
gross.
fish.
That is awful.
Yeah, and then she would, like, spray, like, green apple, like, air freshener over
Yeah.
it to try and make it
Oh, jeez.
smell better, and it just made it worse. It was
Oh,
awful.
no. Gross.
But, it was called Locked in Time. Did you
Locked in
ever
Time?
read that one?
Mm-mm.
It was, like, that one was strange. It was about this girl and her dad just recently remarried, and her new stepmom was, like, she owned this old plantation in, like, New Orleans or
Yeah.
Louisiana, one of them. I'm like,
Back to the two.
So, yeah, I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, so one of those states, and
New Orleans isn't a state.
you're right. My geography.
Close enough.
It's fine. Whatever, swampy voodoo stuff, okay? Oh,
Princess and the Frog setting.
yeah, that is. It's Princess and the Frog setting.
Mm-hmm.
So, so the girl, like, gets a stepbrother, and they, like, fall in love.
Oh, jeez.
And then she starts finding out, again, spoilers, sorry, I don't know, but, like, she finds out that the mom, like, her new stepmom, like was in voodoo and did like a spell on her and her son so that they would
Oh,
stay
jeez.
young forever.
Oh, yeah.
So like they had been living there and like stealing these, like her victims' money. Like they would die and she'd kill them, or I can't remember. But it was the weirdest book ever. But have you watched The Skeleton Key horror movie?
No, I've never heard of that.
No, with oh my gosh, I'm losing my voice. Sorry guys. I'm getting over a cold.
We both are.
Yeah. But it has Kate Hudson in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like when she's really young. Not really young, but she's like younger.
Younger.
But that's what that horror movie was based off of, was Locked in Time, the book. But the horror movie's really good, so I suggest watching it.
Yeah.
But don't read the book. But I'm trying to think about another book that I hated reading. Do you remember reading that book that, like, this guy was thrown into, like, Monument Valley, and this other guy was chasing him through it and, like, took his clothes and was trying to kill him in the desert?
No.
No.
Yes, I do. I do remember.
What was that
I can't
called?
remember, but I remember that. That is so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, another book that I did like reading for school? What was the one that was set, like, on Alcatraz? Like, the kid, like, his dad worked for Alcatraz.
I don't think I ever read that one.
It's, like...
Is that, like, an Alan Grant one?
I don't know. It's called... Let me look it up.
I don't remember. I don't think I read that book. Because I might have been.
Yeah. That one.
Al Capone Does My Shirts. I
Yeah.
don't think I've ever read that one.
That one was pretty good.
That one does sound interesting, actually.
But, yeah. I don't know. School books are, like, always a hit or miss.
Yeah.
It's like, you never know. Next question. What is the one book you want everyone else to read? Our book.
Yeah. So,
if you didn't know,
sure...
we're writing a book together.
Yes.
It is not even halfway done yet, but...
The beginning's not even done either. We started kind of in the middle because
beginnings are so freaking hard to write. But yeah. That would be mine.
Watch for it.
We'll talk about that in a later episode, too. We'll
say
do
the
a whole
name
episode
too
for that, yeah.
Let's just say I want everyone to read Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. That one's a really good one.
I still haven't read that one.
You need to read it.
I will.
It'll make your life so much better if you read it, I promise.
I would say Shatter Me. Everyone needs to read Shatter Me.
I agree. Shatter Me, yes.
Yeah.
What else?
I'm trying to think of, like, a good book that was a good, like, starter book for, like, newer readers.
Richard Paul Evans.
There you go.
Any of his, if you saw our last episode, any of the old grandma Richard Paul Evans books. Except Michael Bay. Except the one that he's really popular for.
Yeah, that is so funny. Yeah, I don't know, really. There's not one, like, there's books I'm like, you should read this, like, this is a good book, but there's not any that's like, you have to read this, you know?
Yeah. To All the Boys I Loved Before. That is a good starter one.
Yeah, that one is a good
If you really love romance and just, like, rom-coms, that is a good starter book for you. What else? Any Casey West book.
Yes. We also talked about that in the last episode.
If you're a bookworm girly, you gotta read Hunger Games.
And Twilight. Those are both
Those are now
those
classics.
are ones you have to read.
You have to read them or else you're not a bookworm.
Yes.
You cannot say that you are a lover of books if you don't read those ones. Even if you just read one of them, you don't have to read both.
Yeah.
But if you do read both, you're just extra up there.
If you're going to read one of them, read The Hunger Games.
Yeah. Except
don't read the last book unless you want to cry for like a week after.
It's so sad. Watch the last episode if you want to hear my story about what I did after.
After she read the Mockingjay book.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love The Hunger Games. The second one's the best.
Yeah. They're so good.
I forget there's only 3 books and
I
4
know.
movies.
Yeah.
Which, what you just said about having to read those leads us into our next question. Do you have to read a classic to be a bookworm?
No.
No. Gracie, 2 seconds ago, you have to read these if you want to call yourself a bookworm.
Okay, but classics? Are we talking about, like, 2000s classics? Or are we talking about, like, Pride and Prejudice?
I don't
The
know.
Bronte sisters.
It just says classics.
Frankenstein.
If we're talking about that, I would say no.
Yeah, I would say no, too.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't care for reading that stuff.
me either. I love the covers. I like to
Yes.
think that I'll like to read them, but I don't.
Because again, like, Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
No. I don't know, like, you should read classics like Hunger Games, like we were just saying.
Those
but,
classics. Not like the old classics. I don't think
Yeah.
you have to be considered a bookworm.
Yeah.
By any means, you don't. Yeah.
I don't know. Let's see. Long or short chapters?
Short chapters.
Short chapters.
I love short chapters. If they, like, are long, I kind of am like, oh my gosh, this is still the same chapter. Like, why is there so much happening? You could have broken it down, you know?
Yes.
And even when writing, I'm like, I like to write short chapters.
Same.
You know?
Because long chapters, it just feels like, oh, I don't have time for this.
Exactly.
But when there's short chapters, oh, I can do one more. Oh, I can do one more.
Yeah, same.
Oh, you know?
It just moves the story along faster, I think. Because then, if you're, like, focusing on one chapter for too long, I feel like you're just trying to write random stuff.
Right,
and so it gets, like, kind of drawn out too much.
Yes. Yeah, there was one book, I'm trying to remember what it was called. Better Than the Movies. Have you read that one?
Yes.
There was one chapter that's like 50 pages long.
Really?
Yeah.
I do not remember that.
Yeah, because I remember I was freaking out about that. I'm like, that is just crazy.
You're like, no.
I'm like, how dare you?
Literally. I did like that book, though.
Yeah, that one was good.
I thought it was cute. Dude.
I have one more question.
Okay, one more question.
And then we can be done for today. Top 3 favorite bookmen. Like, book fictional men.
That's so hard. There's so many. Try to picture, like, what is one that I would think about before I go to sleep? Let me see.
One you would do your, like, when you go to bed and have to think of, like a
your
scenario.
fake scenarios.
There
Yeah.
you go,
Who's the one?
Who's in those?
Oh. It's like, Warner's up there.
Yeah.
Warner's up there, but I don't want to say it because I've already, like, said it.
I know.
Jax from Once Upon a Broken Heart, probably. I'm trying to think. What's his name? Did you ever read Catching... Oh my gosh, what is it called? Catching Jack the Ripper.
Oh, I've heard of it, but I haven't read it, no.
So good. I need to look up what his name is. I love how I don't remember his name, but I'm like, I love that man. Oh, it's called Stalking Jack the Ripper. Sorry, guys. Stalking Jack the Ripper. Thomas. His name is Thomas Cresswell. Thomas Cresswell. Just remembered it. Okay. Thomas Cresswell, Jax, and probably Rowan in Divine Rivals.
Mm-hmm.
I love Rowan. He's amazing. It's not Rowan. It's Roman.
Roman.
I can't remember their names all of a sudden.
Rowan isn't that our movie we made?
Yes.
Isn't it Rowan?
Oh my gosh,
Was it Rowan?
I think it was Rowan, yeah.
I can't remember now. We made a movie. So when we were in, what grade was it? 8th grade, 9th grade? 9th grade.
Yeah, it was 9th grade.
9th grade, we took what was the class called?
It was a theater class?
It wasn't like a theater class.
No.
Because it wasn't like, we were doing drama stuff, but it wasn't supposed to be drama stuff.
It was theater design.
Theater design.
That's
but we
what
were
it was.
doing drama stuff.
Yeah.
So we had to make a movie.
It was sword fighting. We had to do a sword fighting
video for a theater design class.
Yeah.
And so we made this whole movie about...
Literally, so we were sitting out in the hall,
mm-hmm.
and we were supposed to be, like, choreographing, like, a sword fighting scene.
Yeah.
And we were just sitting in the hall, and I was like, what if we had a story, and it went like this, and
it was called The Protector.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
because the girl, like, the main girl, she was what's called the protector for this kingdom. So, like, she was the prince's, like, personal, like, bodyguard and assassin and, like, protector.
I'm going to add in, like, a little clip of our video to this.
You will. But, and so, Yeah, that was interesting. So we played
Yeah.
the characters. We filmed how long?
We took 2 whole days.
2 days.
And
from
we filmed-
morning until
yeah.
night.
Yeah, and I remember it started snowing on the very last
Yeah,
day.
it was freezing.
Yeah, we
There
did
was
it at the
snow-
park behind my house.
Yeah.
And we took 2 whole days when we were supposed to take just like 5 minutes
Yeah,
on this
it
one
wasn't only
assignment.
supposed to be like a 5-minute long
Yeah,
thing.
and we decided to make it this whole thing, and it was so fun. Yeah, it was like these 2 brothers, and then one got kidnapped, and we had to go save him.
Yeah,
but then the
in your
main
creepy
character,
basement.
Yeah, and then the main character fell in love with the other brother, trying to find the other brother she was in love with originally. It was this whole
Love
thing.
triangles.
Yeah. So that was interesting.
Yeah.
That was so fun.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to put a clip in there.
We should, because
Yeah.
that was hilarious. And then our teacher was so confused. I remember her being like, yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, she didn't even, we thought we were going to get extra credit. That's how
we
good
were
we
like
thought
so
this
ready
was.
for it.
Yeah.
And we didn't.
And she was like,
Did
that-
we even get full credit?
no, we did get full
Okay.
credit. But I remember we were like, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I can't believe she didn't give us extra credit. And then we watched it again, and we were like, oh, that makes 0 sense.
Yeah,
What?
it didn't make any sense really.
What is the plot? We don't know
Yeah.
what the plot is.
That is so embarrassing thinking back about it.
And we were like in our costumes, like in the park.
We
in
were
front
at
of
the park.
people.
Uh-huh.
Public space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was we had a blast doing that.
It was so fun.
So my top 3 men, very basic. I would say Aaron Morner, Peter Mullark, and Rysand.
Yes.
Yep, those are my 3.
Those are all 3 good men.
They are 3 good men.
Mhm.
There is so many other ones though.
Yeah.
I want to add into that, but those
Same.
would be my top 3.
Same. I always love the guys. Those morally gray
Yeah,
guys.
the morally gray.
Yeah.
Have you heard the song Morally Gray?
Yes.
Yes.
That's like, that's my favorite.
Yeah, there you go.
show.
Yeah, that one's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I think that's it for today's
Yeah.
episode.
Mm-hmm.
Stay tuned for next week's.
Yep. It's going to be super fun.
We're
And
excited
then,
to start this journey.
Yeah.
So thank you for watching. We
Mhm.
appreciate it.
and don't forget to email us if you want reviews done about certain books or if you have any questions about books or anything
And-
else.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So stay
bye,
tuned for
guys.
Between the Covers.
yep. This was In Between the Covers. Bye.